look away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech or the disrespect. Before you play, better button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check fam? Welcome back to the second edition of Checking In Buttons today. Thank you for tuning in one more time. Hope you enjoyed the first one. The first one was actually a surprise. I had to cover the story. So anyway, we are back once again. Chapter, sub button, all that good stuff down below. I really do appreciate you guys for helping the channel grow. So without further ado, I think we got one or two hot topics. FGC's debating their asses off, so we's about to cover this. We got a quick word from a quick sponsor. I actually mentioned it earlier. We got a dope hitbox on sale right now, so we's about to get that, then check these buttons. Without further ado, let's go. All right, Butt Check family, give me a few seconds of your time because the beautiful people at Hot 42 are back once again, and this is one of their latest leverless controllers. This is the C16, and it's on sale right now. So this is a magnetic leverless arcade stick that comes with RGB rims and is compatible to PC, PS3, PS4, and Switch. But you could also use it for the PS5 if you get a dongle or adapter, which Hot makes as well. But I noticed on the screen here, on the LED screen, it also connects to the PS5, which means like you can play PS4 games on the PS5. And another cool feature about the C16, it actually comes with a tournament lock. Once this is in place, you don't have to worry about pressing accidental buttons or getting disconnections. There's nothing more infuriating than when you're in the heat of battle, you're in tournament, you're about to make top 8. Take it from me, I've been in this situation. I've been in it a lot of times, right? I'm in top 8. I'm about to make grand finals and I hit a damn button. I press start or something I'm not supposed to. I would have actually been in Cap Cup. I would have been in the last Cap Cup had it not been for the accidental buttons.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
So this right here is actually an acrylic panel that has magnets and it's super convenient to replace your artwork. Check this out. Right here, there is a button right here in the back. As soon as you press that button, this pops off. So as you can see right here, I'm pressing the button here in the back, and then this is just going to pop off like this, and then you replace your artwork, that easy. And on top of that, Hot provides you with 4 pieces of artwork already off the rip. This is probably my favorite one right here. This is the design I'm probably gonna replace it with next. But on top of that, they give you 2 blank canvases, that way you can create your own artwork. And real quick, this is the layout. Let me show you what's going on. So you have the Type-C on the left side, so you could either connect it from the left or you can go straight on the top, like I'm doing right now. It has the RGB lock, the lock switch, the LED screen, which is really cool. Let me see if I can put it on the screen right here, because you could do a live button check. And from there, you have the DIY panel, which we talked about, the extension port on the side there, and the new design increase anti-slip pad area, which is really cool. If you take a look here, you see this nice sleek area that kind of supports your wrist. And on the back side, this is the anti-slip pad area. You got one on the left and the right. So as soon as you sit this in your lap, it's not sliding anywhere. So there it is one more time, Button Check fam. Definitely check out the C16 from Hot 42 on sale right now. And of course, the beautiful lighting that goes on, not only with the buttons, but all around the stick. Look at that. From the top to the bottom, everything just lights up beautifully. So big up to the beautiful people at Hot 42 for making this possible. And as always, the Button Check fam. Now let's get back to checking some buttons. Let's go. All right, now into them first set of y'all are still excited about 2D fighting games in 2025, possibly the biggest scrub quote of 2025, buttons that need to be checked. All right, so right here, Lord Knight posted this saying, I read this comment and got tight, so unfortunately, now you must read it too. Here it is right here. You can see he scribbled out the name. My only problem is y'all still excited about 2D games or 2D fighting games in 2025. The point of games are to mimic the real world. Okay, let's pause right there. He's saying y'all still excited about 2D fighting games in 2025, and the point of games are to mimic the real world. Real environments, etc. How does anybody still think 2D fighters are acceptable? Is laugh emoji. Hold on. You know I can fuck up some reading, right? Y'all know that. But this I'm really about to butcher because look at how he did it. Let's look at the grammar. The point of games are to mimic the real world, all right? Real environments, etc. How does anybody still thinks 2D fighters, period, are acceptable? Is laugh emoji. He's literally laughing like he just said something where he could flex, but he spelled acceptable, except able. Except, two damn words. Except Abel, is we talking about Abel from Street Fighter 4? Like, what the fuck is we talking about right now? Anyway, continuing on saying, just imagine Street Fighter 6 in 3D or Mortal Kombat in 3D. The fact we have all this computing power, but Tekken is the only true 3D AAA title is sickening to me. We have to move past this crap. And there you have it. And of course, that FGC is reacting, saying, he said, except Abel, this level of rage bait cannot work on me. Roofamonger responds saying, imagine Mortal Kombat in 3D. That's what a lot of people said. We already did that shit. Anyway, Hanzo Gonzo says, motherfuckers like this used to get launched into the ocean via catapult. Now they just go buck wild. And then Damascus says, this guy arena fighters. Continuing on. Others are like fighting games, but every knockdown increases your startups by 1 frame to represent successive concussions. Ah yes, I slayed a dragon by calling down the might of Thor in real life. I can do a light shuriken, but still can't do decent Tatsu or Hadouken. One day, I'll become a real person. One day. The dude said to mimic real life. Others are saying the point of games are to mimic the real world. Tekken is the only real 3D AAA title. Meanwhile, in Tekken, you get the gift. And wow, I'm such a fucking idiot. All this time I thought the point of video games was to have fun and entertaining. What a total Wally I've been. Just a grade A brat. Other people were like, please, like, don't censor the name. Let us know who wrote some shit like this. I wonder if whoever wrote it realizes that like the entire fucking FGC is talking about him right now. This is fucking wild. Then of course, when he put, how does anybody think 2D fighters, period, are except Abel? The laughing emojis are almost perfect because it's almost like he's laughing at his own grammar. Either way, we have all this computing power and Tekken is the only true 3D fighter. Shit, I really got nothing else. How y'all feeling? All right, next up for them Street Fighter 6 pros worried about the game, or I should say still worried about the state of the game, buttons that need to be checked. I thought this one was real interesting, you know, because once upon a time, earlier in the year, I feel like we did see a lot of pros kind of come together expressing their deep concerns to change stuff. We're talking about DIs, throw loops, right, above all, but anything. Or anyway, I should say, there's a lot of fucking concerns that have been expressed. People hoping to bend the ear of Capcom. Recent patches come out, didn't really change. I think in one character it changed. You know, there's a lot of questionable things. But overall, as of late, I would say in the last month, haven't really seen too many people speaking out. More so, I would say we're wrapped up in the hype. We got Sagat, we got Evo right around the corner. There's a lot of cool shit happening. So I think people have kind of just been enjoying the game for what it is. If anything, you've heard more complaints about tournaments, about the setups. People are like, holy shit, I'm so tired of traveling to such and such or taking so many days to travel around the world just to play a first or two, get mobbed, and I can't even play because there's so much damn lag on this PS5. But now it looks like some pros are speaking out saying, no, the state of the game is still a little wonky. It still needs to be fixed as we have some major concerns, and it starts right here with none other than Chris T. Right here, Chris T saying, inputs, neutral drive rush nerfs, throw loop nerfs. If these are addressed properly and with the goal of stabilizing the chaos, we would have an incredible game. The meta has not changed in Season 3. Throw loops are extremely boring, and I'm tired of losing because I tried to check drive rush. That one has almost 300 likes. Grant Totakai says, I'm with Chris on this one. There's almost zero reason to take the game seriously unless the game is stabilized at least a bit. Dr. Daddy Phantom responds saying, there's this one tournament where first place winner gets $1 million and then qualifiers all over the world. A lot of people participate for it. You get the sarcasm. Others, though, respond. I see Espada saying, if you work at McDonald's, you make more money in a year than half of the people in the cup. There's that, too. Then going deeper, others are like, I feel bad for the competitive Street Fighter 6 scene. Not only is the game very unstable due to throw loops and drive rush causing a lot of top tier players to drop in pools, they also have to travel across the seas just to drop inputs due to overheating PS5s. The life of a Street Fighter 6 Pro player is truly hard. And some saying, serious question, if that's true, why does Punk basically win everything that he attends, barring events with horrible setups? I see Rushdown saying, didn't Punk just literally lose the last pools at the last major he was in? Laugh my ass off. He responds saying, read the part in parentheses. That's a good question. I'm glad in a way Chris T brought that back up because you hear a lot about the big ones, DI, perfect parry, throw loop above all. But inputs, I feel like we haven't heard about inputs since the game dropped. Well, at least, I don't know, sometime last year, because I remember when the game first dropped, I thought I was going fucking crazy. Because I remember telling Dirty Low, what the fuck? Did I forget how to do moves? Because I swear it only comes out sometimes. And then a lot of people started coming out saying, no, there's something really off with these fucking inputs. But then you would see pros go in the tournament, like in the beginning, especially now. And yeah, they might say something, but it seemed like they were still executing. They were still doing it. Not saying that they weren't, also expressing frustrations, but I was just thinking, maybe I'm really just fucking that whack because how are they like still doing it all the time to the high level that they are? But I'm like, I swear it reads every other input wrong, or that at least I'm doing it wrong. So it's super frustrating. Now I feel like it's gotten a little better, but like Chris T pointed out, now we still got some inputs, neutral drive rush nerfs, and throw loop nerfs. And from there it gets even deeper because I see another Chris, who we got, Chris F, actually brings up a point, and I think we might have covered this at one point, but he says he believes the reason why Japan, for example, does so well because they do less complaining than the West does, and they just accept the way things are and focus on playing the game and bringing new people to the game as well. Others kind of come back saying, since when is that our concern? We're not Capcom. We don't work for Capcom, so it's not really our job to do that. We're the consumer. We buy the game, we play the game, we let you know how it is. Let's unpack. Right here, Chris F saying, hot take, but maybe the reason Street Fighter 6 does so well in Japan is because the top players have fun and laugh on stream, show that playing is fun, accept Street Fighter 6 for what it is, and avoid starting the throw loop discourse again for the 5,000th time. That one has over 4,000 likes. But Shine says, imagine if we all accepted Street Fighter 5 for what it was at launch throughout the game's lifespan. He responds though saying, Shine, I'm not trying to be snarky when I say this. Raising concerns is important, but at some point it becomes clear those changes we are asking for aren't coming. And at that point, I think it's best to move on and help get more people into the game by showing off the good parts. Others say, I don't think it's any player's responsibility to get people into the game. Outrage tends to be the best way to get things fixed. There's a reason Street Fighter 6 launched with single player content. It's because people were pissed that Street Fighter 5 didn't have it. Continuing on saying, do you work for Capcom? I don't. Why would it be my job to get people into the game? I don't get any dollars for doing that. It's Capcom's job to get people to play, and they're doing wonderfully at it, but I have nothing to do with that. And then Kane Blue Ever says, I think it's more relatable to why they historically have done better in competition in general. Way less nowadays, of course, but they just focus on what is instead of griping about what could be. Chris F says, agree. Voicing concerns over bad aspects of a game is important for sure, but at the same time, if the game gets patched maybe twice a year, so you have to accept it for what it is. If you are going to commit to playing it, that's my take. But the Mature TV says, this is a complicated topic. I know what you mean, and yes, if you accept things, you will feel better about the game. But if you do that and stop talking about throw loops, Capcom will think everything is okay and they won't remove them, and there you have it. All right, so how y'all feeling, man? Now let me okay, fuck. Okay, so there you have it. Now, as far as I know, Chris F is not from America. I think he spoke out because some people were like, you must be from America or something like that. He was like, no, I'm not. Chris T, on the other hand, the one that started as far as like inputs and, the first tweet that we read, he is obviously from America. Now, taking everything into consideration, I thought it was interesting because not only do you have some pros saying this game can't be taken seriously or it's not stable enough. Like our pros are traveling and they're getting knocked out and they're expressing concerns, but unfortunately nothing has been fixed. I even saw some people talking about there should be a CPT standard for tournaments because how can we go to some that are fucking amazing and a lot, unfortunately, that are not? And we see the concern, I would say this year, maybe more than ever, but as far as I can remember, yeah, we definitely see that a lot. Now, granted, with the latest patch, people said some things did get better, but the big things, they're like, all right, I guess it's not gonna change. I guess Capcom just wants to leave that in there for some reason. And I think that's where some of this discourse starts, where they're like, maybe we should just accept it. Accept what's in fucking front of us and just keep going. Like Japan does, because they do. And like Kane was saying, he was like, I think that's probably why they do so well in the past, because they just accept things the way they are. They have a good time. They bring more people to the party. But then others, obviously, you see, are like, that's not our job. We pay for the game. And like Shine was saying, imagine if we were quiet in the beginning of Street Fighter V. Would anything fucking change? The reason why Street Fighter 6 started so good is because they learned from the mistakes from Street Fighter 5 because everybody spoke up. Unfortunately, it seems like that's the way to get things done, because the louder we speak, the louder they listen. Not so much the case in the Tekken scene right now, but you know what the hell I'm trying to say. But what I am saying is, we gotta complain. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do it, obviously, because sometimes people get hella disrespectful. And I'm being real with y'all. When I'm finding these stories, there's sometimes Capcom posts something, and it's the same fucking doomers every time underneath. And that's why I have a tendency to not listen to them or just not even post them, because I'm like, bruh, you say the same shit every time Capcom posts something. You know, they don't do everything wrong. You know, sometimes they drop some bangers. You know, obviously sometimes they do swing and a miss, you know. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is there's a right way and a wrong way. Should you complain as the consumer? For me and my household, hell yes. But that's just me. How y'all feeling? Let me know. And that it is, Butt Check fam. Definitely let me know how you are feeling. Once again, this is the second video of the day. Hope you enjoyed the first one. Marvel Tolkon did the fucking collaboration with the new PlayStation first ever fight stick. So that was dope as hell. We covered that in some of the FGC reactions. Yeah, this is the second video of the day. Tomorrow is what? HT! So I'll definitely see you with at least one video tomorrow. As always, I don't know what it is, but I know as long as you're complaining, it's about to get better. Love y'all, fella. Peace!
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.